want to test a probe, no? But the client was a big part of constructing the question. And the object is, of course, to look at political preference in general and to look at how we are, who everyday Filipinos support at this particular time. And so we were happy to generate some information. It was also an attempt to test the validity of the question. We could change the question over time. And so this was the object of our. So I hope that is that better? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can just go down. Yeah, let's go down. Yes, one more. Yep, that's it. No, you missed it now, Richard. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. No, can you go up? Yeah, that's it. No, can you go up? Can you go up a little more? Page one, Richard. Second page. I'm sorry, second page. Yep. Okay, that's it. Stop there. Make it bigger. Yeah, that should be good. Interesting findings. Yeah. So the basic question is, are you pro Marcos? No? So the statement which best describes you is the way we ask the question. And I support President Marcos and his administration, 31%. I support the Duterte family and their political alliance. We classify them as pro Duterte. That's 20%. I support the opposition. We didn't define the opposition to our interviewees as just the Liberal Party. We just said that this may include the left and the Liberal Party or the traditional opposition, but that generated a support of 4%. So, but then this is quite surprising. No? 29%. We call them independents in the study. I do not support the Marcos administration, the Duterte family, and the opposition. 29%. And those ambivalent, 15%, meaning they refused.
So, ang laki ng anti-system, if I can put it that way.
No, that's independent.
Oh.
No, but this is a space where the opposition can build on. Yeah, this is a space also that will be up for grabs if you're part of the Duterte alliance, building the new opposition in their view. And of course, the Marcos administration was trying to solidify their base. No, so 29%. So where do we locate the Marcoses, no? The pro-Marcos support? No, it's largely in the National Capital Region, no, and Visayas. Okay, they're not very strong at this particular time. In Mindanao, 17% lang sa kanila, and their base of support is D&E. Okay, so when you go to the Duterte family, the support, 20% of adult Filipinos support the Duterte family. Their base is really Mindanao, 53. You can see naman, no? So talagang may hold sila sa lugar na yan.
Right. And probably the low numbers in Mindanao is because of the feud, right? I mean,
yes, of course.
Coming out, I mean, we can see that in for instance, the other side survey on the presidential balls, ang baba lahat dun sa Mindanao, and then dun sa preference also for the president, laki ng baksak ni Marcos sa Mindanao.
You're correct. You're correct, Richard. Kasi yung ibang probes natin on trust and approval, bumagsak talaga yung support sa Mindanao kay President Marcos. So it's consistent, no? And when you look at the base of support, it's really Class E. Okay, so for the 29%, which is significant.
Ay sila sa Class E, no? Both of them are 30%.
Yeah.
So yung masa appeal nila is almost identical, yeah.
Yeah, pero mas malaki yung pro-Marcos group sa Class D, right, which is the big chunk of the
biggest one, which is 55 to 60%
population. Yeah. So even of the population in general, adult Filipino population. So yeah. So those who do not support is still a huge chunk, no? And those who refuse to, who are ambivalent, basically. So the 29% we classify them as independents. Yeah. And you'll notice the base of. So can you go down to the last 3 slides? It's just at the bottom. Yeah. So yeah, look, we can put yeah. Okay ka pala sa Zoom, Richard. Pwede ka pala. Partner pala tayo. Pwede tayo partner sa presentation.
Sige, sir. Ako yung research assistant. Gawin nyo na lang ako sa okra ng
But look at these numbers. Okay ba to? Is this useful? You look at the male,
Yes,
the
this is very
demographic
useful.
supporting.
This is very good.
Yeah. So at this is how it's spread at the regional. We know that already. But urban rural, it's almost the same. Yeah, for the Marcos vote. Yeah, the pro Marcos support, not vote, but support. I'm sorry. Male, female, almost the same. But look at the age group. They're pretty balanced, very strongly well supported in the critical 18 to 35 range. So that's where there's lots of support. And you'll be surprised, no? 55 to 64, ito yung Marcos babies, no? Ito yung hindi pa naman ako dito sa age group na to, pero alam mo yun, yeah. The Marcos
laglagan.
laglagan. So ito but I think interesting yung sa education, actually educational background ng Marcos supporter, no? So you'll see that a big chunk of them are from high school vocational. Yeah. And interesting but not surprising, Iglesia ni Cristo is a big, when you look at the religious breakdown, 55% of the and then of course you look at the ethnic support, no? It's basically Ilocano, Tagalog, no?
Yes.
Okay. But there's a very strong Cebuano support pa rin, 22%.
Pero wait lang, Aglipayan, wasn't it found by an Ilocano?
Ito nga lang.
I was just reading lang about Isabelo de los Reyes and then Aglipayan.
But big chunks there are Roman Catholic, Islam, so meaning in the terms of the actual percentage that they have as far as the population is concerned. So,
very interesting.
Interesting, but you look at the next slide, which is the Duterte family. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you'll notice the support is very different as far as the age groups are concerned. Yeah, the big supporters are Islam, no? Can you see 66%? So when you look at the religious support, no?
Clear the Mindanao factor there because most of
the Mindanao factor.
Mindanao. Exactly.
Yeah. So Mindanao is also their base of support. And Bisaya, no, 41%. Can you see? What's the number?
1% sa Ilocano. 1%. Which I wonder, sino tong 1% na may Ilocano to? I'm gonna research them. Pagod kayo sa akin. Uwi ako ng Baguio soon.
May 1%.
1%. I mean, wow.
Yeah. But anyway, but this is a snapshot.
This is good. This is a very helpful Professor.
It reinforces the demographics we know about these two political families and why they were also very unbeatable together. Okay, meaning you can understand their base of support. Right. If they're united, they can really there will be a lot of continuity as far as government and politics is concerned. No?
Interesting.
But then they're bifurcated, not just around personalities and personal interests, but also along policy lines. We also know that, diba?
Right.
And it's become the great divide between the families. No? One is very supportive of China. The other one is not as supportive. No. Sorry, is that yours or mine?
No, I think that probably is yours, Prof. Wala.
Okay,
no, this is very important because honestly, for me, the big thing before we talk about the third part, independence, is, and the reason why I find it very interesting, aside from the fact na meron mga sub-demographics, this reminds us of the kasi kung titignan mo dito, almost kalahati ng mga voters ay either undecided, independent, or medyo traditional opposition, right? Because pag sinama mo yung dalawa, 31 plus 20, that's just 51%. So roughly half of the voters are up for grabs, right? In a sense, for an Duterte and Marcos. This is huge. This is actually very important if you look at it that way. Assuming, of course, someone consolidates them into a third force. If you're
planning a campaign for the midterms, this is important to take note of. But this is not surprising. They're not very strong. The administration is not very strong. in Mindanao. But the thing is, they can consolidate. When you look at the independents, there a lot of them are still in balance Luzon, Visayas. So you can that's up for grabs talaga. Lalo na Visayas. So this is something that the administration and even the opposition, whoever eventually becomes, no, or takes control of it, however it evolves, no, we'll have to work on. There's a lot for grabs. Now, if you put that plus those who did not respond, that's around 45%, Richard. So up for grabs.
No, I find this very, very helpful. Thank you so much. I'll just call you Ranjit na lang kasi ano, we want to have you more regularly. So first name basis na lang.
Yeah.
Professor Rai. This is very, very helpful. Obviously, I found nothing shocking in terms of numbers except the 1%. Bakit may 1% pang mga Ilocano? Mga hudas kayo. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, kasi I was just in Baguio, di ba? Last week before I flew into US and
Okay.
ang dami mga bumpers.
Where you now? Where you now, Richard?
I'm in
What particular?
Berkeley now. Berkeley.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Kaya nga yung time zone natin.
It's nighttime or late?
It's 9 p.m. right now. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's nice.
So thank you so much for agreeing to morning kasi ang hirap. Because later this week, we're gonna have Senator Trillanes back again also on our show. Pero gabi sa kanya, so that's gonna be like 5 a.m. my time. So medyo you're gonna see more sabog version of me. 5 a.m. is not my time talaga eh. But thank you so much for this. So Professor, can we look at the big picture now and also dito sa independence? What is your read dito sa independence? Because I also find this very interesting.
Well, there are Filipinos who are still they may have actually support. No? I mean the question is not crafted. It still needs a lot of improvement as far as
medyo generic pa siya.
What about the left, diba? What about it? So to improve this question over time. This is remember this was not developed by Octave, so the client based. No? The client suggested this question, and we just ran it for them. No.
Operationalize lang kayo.
Nag-operation, but with slight improvements to improve the validity of the question. But then again, we can break this down ideologically. We try to find out. No? A lot of people are out there who don't see the administration or the Dutertes as groups that they want to support. Okay, and that's also good, right? Diba? That the it's not bifurcated by just two families, although a big chunk of it is nearly 50%. No. More than 50% are already basically either pro Marcos or pro Duterte. But a big chunk is still open and is still looking for that group they want to support or they have support, no? But we also included the opposition kasi that's 4% lang, no? And so they don't see the Liberal Party
traditional or opposition
as the group they want to support. Also, that's also good that we. Our own. But one could also argue there's a divide, diba? There's a divide between those who have already affiliations, no, and those who do not. What's relevant for me here is that it reaffirms all these old images of Philippine government and politics, diba? That's familial. It's very personal. That our divides are along ethnic cleavages, no, and that the weakness of the party system, the lack of it, no, the non-existence of it. Has not disciplined our politics, has made our politics ill-disciplined and around all this parochialism and personalism. Yeah, but if we had stronger parties, we could see ourselves be divided along ideas, ideology, platforms, and programs, no? Instead of just families. No? But I think a lot of the data reaffirms all our own, consistent images, no, of how changeless Philippine politics seems to be. But there's hope in the 29 and the 40% who don't have a position yet.
That's a huge number. Honestly, I think I'm more optimistic than you, cautiously more optimistic in the sense that the two surveys that we discussed today are two sides of the picture, right? One side is the continuity part, particularly continuity in terms of appeal of the Tulfos and Dutertes and the whole macho populist kind of appeal. Although I think both of us argued that forget about differences between Dutertes and Tulfos. The Tulfo brothers themselves are extremely different from each other, right? I have interviewed in Rafi, two very different individuals. I think Rafi is much more independent so far. Let's see with Erwin if he's gonna hew more towards the administration. And then Ben Tulfo is totally different conversation, right? But at the same time, I think the second survey was very interesting because almost half of the voters were either independents or kind of anti-system or something, which tells you,
That
in
there's hope for
there could be
change,
a
huh?
third course. Exactly.
Yeah.
Assuming certain things are done. Yeah.
So at one level, one could construe continuity and change now from the picture being shown by the survey. Although the data is not enough to make solid arguments, but there's always that as taking ourselves out of the survey and looking at the general trajectory of Philippine politics. There is a trajectory for reform. There's a strong sense of continuity as far as government and politics is concerned, but there is always that that element of change that's happening and being driven by young people, by people who are progressive, who align themselves along ideas, platform, and a belief that democracy and development can actually happen if we all work together. So there's always that movement there. And hopefully that movement will have more voice and become more vibrant, no? And we hope to see that more survey numbers in the future pointing out to this progressive movement taking hold of our politics.
On that note, thank you very much, Professor Rai. As you can see, lobat na ako dito, medyo mag-off. So
Sige.
perfect
Matulog ka na
timing.
muna. Sleep release in preparation of for the Senator Trillanes interview.
Yeah, I know. There's so much going on. I still have to write a piece on the quad patrols in West Philippine Sea and all. So thank you so much, Professor Rai. This was very helpful data, and definitely I'm going to refer this to this in future lectures, discussions, and writings. We hope to have you again in the near future as more data, as more interesting surveys, as more tightened, designed surveys come in, because para mas kampante. Kasi I can see you're hedging a little bit in a social scientist way. Na parang want to jump into conclusions. But as I said, at least we have something to hold on to before we can make a conjectural, or more than hopefully conjectural, political analysis. Thank you very much, Professor Ranjit Wright from Okta Research and, of course, University of the Philippines Diliman Political Science Department, for joining us.
Thank you, Richard. And thank you to all those who watched today's podcast. Thank you.
God bless and have a good day po, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Nagustuhan niyo ba ang ganitong pagtalakay? Mag-follow sa Informador FB page at mag-subscribe sa Informador YouTube channel. Ang Informador ay nilikha ng mga staff ni Atty. Ricky Tumuturgo, aka Insurrecto, upang lalong lumawak ang inaabot ng pagpapalaganap ng katotohanan at labanan ang fake news at